Welcome back to the Hit Show podcast. Follow us on all social media platforms. We got a new subject. We've been talking about this a little bit on Facebook. Me and Darius be getting some stuff going on Facebook lately. And official hot girl summer is over, and official hot boy summer is over. It is fall time. That's right. It's getting cold now. You know what that means. It's step parent season. Everybody getting booed up. We just had Sweetest Day here in Ohio. Everybody's getting booed up. Everybody's done what they hoeing. And now it's step parenting season. So we're going to get into this step parenting thing. All right. So all the step parents that's out there, share this video. If you're a step parent, used to be a step parent, share this video, leave us a comment. All right. And we're going to get into it with this step parenting. So me and Darius both, we only can speak from the men's perspective, but we've both been stepfathers. I've been a stepfather. It has advantages and disadvantages. So I guess first we'll start on the positive note tonight and start with the advantages. So from what I've seen, what it does, it just pretty much step parenting places a special position in the child's life if you're the stepfather. Okay, so if the child doesn't have a consistent father in their life, or even if they do, you being the stepfather, you're there every day. So that child, girl or boy, gets another father added to their life every day, and it can be a positive thing. So my whole perspective on the stepdad thing was to make a difference in the child's life, not to take over as a father, but to make a difference. And I think that's what the job of the stepfather is. It's not to remove the other guy, the other father, but to make a change and to have a purpose in their life without bashing and talking bad about the biological father. So Darius, what's your take on that?
I just think at its core, it's just something naturally as men that we're gonna do if we do find ourselves in a situation where there's a kid that needs to be fathered or needs that masculine aspect presented in their life. It's just natural for us to do that. It's not like we're wild animals and we often the offspring, and if it ain't ours type situation. So I think it's just natural, and I don't think it's wrong unless you overstep boundaries as a stepfather. If the kid's father is actually trying to be in the kid's life, you should give them that respect. And if you ain't doing that, it's all good. It's fair play.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, the main thing you said, respect. A lot of times, what happens with the situations, the respect is not there because anytime the stepfather comes in, if a lot of times, if the mother is not on good terms with the biological father, then there's always a disconnect between the biological father, the mother, and the stepfather. So the stepfather comes in, and the lady says, "Hey, this is what I need you to do. I need you to step up. He's not doing this, that, and the third. This is what I need you to do as a man." And he agrees to it. And then it becomes like a beef because this guy is stepping up and saying, "Okay, I'm gonna do what this other guy's not doing." From what you told me, he believes it, and then every time he do something good, he be like, "Well, I did this because he ain't doing that. I did all this work. I take care of the kids, feed them, bathe them, put them to bed, and he don't do jack." So it creates a whole negative situation. And then when these two guys meet and bump heads, there's arguments, fights, shootings, and it just something that can be avoided if they could properly co-parent without the extra beef. And I think that's one thing about step parenting that needs to be resolved before the stepfather comes in. There needs to be a full understanding and conversation between the three adults about how we're going to co-parent. And I think people need to do that rather than just badmouth the biological father saying he doesn't do this and that, because that creates tension between everybody. So if we could remove that and we have better co-parenting, I think we'd have better situations with the stepfathers. That's what I've seen. Now, on the flip side, I've seen it to where also everybody gets along and there's not an issue, and it works better that way. The stepfather, the biological father, and the mother all get along, and it's all respect. But that was the main thing Darius said. The respect, though, has to be there for the stepfather, because it's not just about the stepfather, it's about everybody. Because when you come in as a stepfather with these kids, you got to remember, now you're also part of the biological father's life, but those are still his kids, whether you're raising them or not. So y'all all are family if you really think about it. But that was one good thing you brought up, was the respect. And I think that's the number one thing it has to be, is respect and a mutual interest in the kid's life and what's the best for them. That's how I feel about that. But yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
And as long as you putting the kids first, that's all you can do. Know what I'm saying? Like, you got to date and get to know each other, but at some point, them kids, if you have them, y'all gonna have to get introduced, whether it's the stepmother or stepfather. And even if that role isn't something that's like absent mother or absent father, when you are there around that child, you should be there for that child, like the mother or father. You know what I'm saying? And when the situation presents itself to go around the other parent, just be respectful as you can, because at the end of the day, it's all about the kids. And we know people get petty and talk trash and do all the internet wolfing and all that crazy shit. Like, if you got to handle something, handle it when the kids ain't there. But you shouldn't even be doing that because y'all grown. And that's what a lot of this drama be that I see between the middle-aged and these like people that have divorced or just broken relationships, and they start dating each other. And we in a small city, small county, so people get like that. And then you get the situation of wanting stepdaddy or stepmama season, and you ain't venting the people that's coming around your children good enough because you're so thirsty to have that step parent around. So we just got to do better with that, because I think that's, at the end of the day, that's the only thing that's important, is the children.
and one of the main things you said is the venting. After they broken up from the biological, they're just thirsty to replace them without fully closing that chapter. And what that does is you bring all that turmoil and trauma into a new situation with a new person, and this person ain't got nothing to do with your beef with the biological. So then you bring on your mess, and they fired up because you fired up. Not knowing this person might have not even did anything. The biological, maybe it didn't work out between you two. That doesn't mean that person is a bad parent. It may be the relationship didn't work, but that person's a good parent. But since it didn't work out the way you wanted to work out, now the new person come in and you feed them all this negativity and they believe it.
Yep.
And then we get these bad situations. And that ain't good. And that happens every day, especially like he said, in a small city. You haven't healed from your last relationship and you're starting a new one. You can't do that and bring new people in, because then you're playing with the new person's feelings as well. And say you and the new person don't work. They still got bad feelings towards you now and a biological person, right? And now you got all this beef, and then say you and the biological get back together, and then you two start beefing with this person. It happens every day. Every day. Every day it happens. So you got to vent and get over the past relationship, because a lot of people, what they do is they try to replace the biological with the step. You can't do that.
Yeah.
And they try to use the step parent as a placeholder. And we talked about this before. Y'all was so mad on TikTok when I said our step parents placeholders. Y'all got mad, but think about it. A lot of y'all step parents, let's be honest, were they there because your mother or father needed somebody there for the children to be a family, or were they there just to replace the last person? If they were there just to fill a void, that's a placeholder. That's what a placeholder is. It's a temporary place. They're there temporarily. We've all seen it. They get the stepmom or the stepdad in, and then when they're over that, they break up with them and get back with the biological. We've seen it. How many times have we seen it? How many times have we seen that?
It happens a lot.
How many stepmothers, ex-stepmothers, and stepfathers out here still salty because they thought they were coming into a situation where, okay, this is going to be my family. They thought that because they were manipulated, thinking they were going to be there permanently, and they were just a temporary placeholder.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you seen it? I know you've seen it. I know you've seen it. Raise your hand if you've been a placeholder. I've been one.
Mm-hmm.
What about y'all? I've been a placeholder. A lot of us have.
Yeah.
And it's not a good feeling. So that's why step parenting, people have to take that very seriously. Because you have to understand, when you're playing with somebody else's feelings, you got to remember something. You have children involved. Right? There's a lot of children out here missing, being murdered. There's children out here being kidnapped. A lot of these kids getting kidnapped. It could have been that step parent from 5 or 6 years ago that's still salty. You got to understand this stuff like that happens. These kids coming up missing and kids getting beat up and murdered. Y'all watched Snapped and what's the other show? What's that love show where they fall in love and they cheating, then they end up one of them killing each other? What's the name of that show? What's the name of that show? What do you call it? Not a love triangle. What do you call it? I forgot the name. But y'all seen the show where people cheating and where they bring in the step person and the step person kill the lady that they with now, or to kill the husband, or kill the wife.
You talking about like them Tubi movies?
Not on Tubi, but it's on YouTube. You know,
old girl in them. What's her name?
Yeah, like the man or the woman, they come into the new situation, right? And then the new person end up being crazy and they kill the woman and all that, and kill one of the kids, and that's why. If you're not over your situation, and another thing, you have to evaluate these step parents. Think about what's happening to these children. They're being molested, raped, murdered, missing. You can't just bring anybody around your kid just because you want to fill a void. You got to do some research. We all got Google. You can type people's names in, the address, their social, the birth date, social media, public records, especially women and men, both that have girls. Because men, you have all these men out here molesting girls. You have women out here that'll traffic these little young girls. You got to think about the human trafficking. So you have to be very careful as a biological parent when you're bringing in a step parent. It's not just about you. Because we got a lot of kids out here being abused, molested, raped, murdered. Yeah, that step parenting is real. It's not just to fill a void. It's not just a placeholder. On a serious note. So y'all gotta be careful who you bring in your house and around your kids. That's definitely important with this step parenting. But one thing I want to talk about with this step parent is discipline. Is the step parent allowed to discipline the children?
What's discipline? Like punishment, as far as
punishment, grounding,
or
go to your room. You know, if they do activities maybe at school or they have sports, okay, well, you acted up in school this week, so you're not going to be able to play any video games or be on your phone or tablet.
Yeah.
Go to any extracurricular activities. You can't stay at your friend's house. Stuff like that. Discipline.
Well, at the end of the day, is that an executive decision, though? I know sometimes in the spur of the moment, you got to do what you got to do, but for the most part, you can always run it by your partner before you decide to do something.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, but at the beginning of the relationship, usually these rules are established, especially if it's a man coming to a woman's house. Usually the woman says, hey, you're the man. You can do this and you can do that, but this is what you can't do. Usually that's already established. So when it is time for him to put down his authority, it shouldn't be questioned.
Yeah.
If it's for the better of the child.
Right.
So now that's just my opinion. And I've been a stepdad, so things I don't whoop other kids. If they ain't mine, I ain't whooping them.
Yeah, I ain't whooping them.
I ain't whooping nobody else's kid. Now mine, I'll tear their ass up, but somebody else's kid, I'm not putting a finger on them. I'm not going to jail of nobody else's kids. But that's another thing. Are y'all gonna let these stepfathers come in and do ass whoopings? I think that depends on how long she's known the man and has he been around the kids. Because sometimes with the kids known the step guy their whole life. It might be like her friends she's known her whole life, and they really know him. You've seen that where best friends get married, stuff like that. It might be a best friend that the kids grew up with. Now it's the stepfather.
I don't know. I don't know if women be comfortable letting the man whoop their kids.
It depends, but we live in a different day because back in the day, stepdaddies whooped ass.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, 70s, 80s, they whooped ass. Stepdaddies whooped your ass. Now,
because kids barely getting whooped now in general. So it's like
that's the problem. They need good ass whoopings. They need good ass whoopings. I think the stepdad should be allowed depending on how long he's been around. Now, these kids 12, 13, 14, though. But if they 2, 3, and 4 years old and all they know is the stepdaddy, it's kind of like he's their dad. Because I've seen it to where kids be, a new man comes in, kids 2, 3, 4 years old, and he's there till they're grown. I mean, if he's there for a few years, I kind of think he has the right, especially if the father's not around, who somebody got to discipline him.
Yeah.
And that's the man's job. Not abuse him, but discipline.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's wrong. I think the men should be able to discipline the kids because that is the man's job, to provide and protect and put that discipline on. That is really his job because he already is paying the bills, taking care of them, keep them safe, but he can't whoop them. That don't make sense. You can do everything but whoop their ass. I don't know. That's just me. But
yeah.
What about the stepmothers that come in for the step? Are they allowed to discipline?
I think when you in the household and the kids acting bad and they doing something, you can discipline as far as like, hey, sit down. Right. Or go to your room, or y'all stop that. Know what I'm saying? But as far as punishment, like taking something away from them or whooping them, stuff like that, you could just, like, you know what? Just I'm gonna talk to your mom about it when she get back.
Yeah. Or if they're too out of control, something they really like, I think the step parents should be able to take it. Because you got to calm them down.
If they're children, yeah.
Yeah.
If they children, yeah.
If they under 18, I don't give a damn. If you're 18, you ain't paying no bills. You can't be doing what you want to do.
Yeah, give me that phone or turn that Xbox off.
Right, whatever they do. I think stepmothers should be able to have a certain level of discipline because there has to be some respect. The kids have to respect the step parents. And I think that's the next area we're going to go into. A lot of times we see kids don't respect the step parents, depending on the relationship with the biological, right, and a step parent. Because if, say, for example, the mother doesn't respect the stepfather, and she talks to him any type of way, talk to him crazy, then the kids ain't gonna respect him. So I think that the parents have to set the tone as far as how they treat each other, respect each other, because the kids see that. And so forth. If the stepfather doesn't respect the biological mother and he talks to her crazy, the kids ain't gonna respect him because he talked my mama crazy.
Yeah.
He treat her any kind of way. You know what I'm saying? We don't know if he verbally abused her, physically abused her. The kid's not gonna respect it. So I think that is also a big issue with step parenting is the respect issue. Yeah, I've seen it plenty of times where the step parent just doesn't respect the mother, and a lot of times with the men, what they'll do is when they're mad, they'll always want to bring up the biological. Well, he ain't doing this and he ain't doing that, but that's no reason to be disrespectful in the household. And a lot of times they use that as an scapegoat to reason why they want to act a certain way when they get mad. I've seen that, and I don't think that's right. They want to use that as fuel to their fire. Well, he ain't doing this, so why I'm doing all this, so why I gotta respect you? Or he talked to you like this, why can't I talk to you like that? And I'm paying the bills, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, and I'm taking care of these kids that he ain't sitting $5 over here for. I know y'all done seen it. I know y'all heard that. I've heard it and seen it myself. Yeah. I know y'all have. Respect has to be laid down. Respect has to be there. How many times do y'all see the parents get into it, then the kids get in there? And then the kids start arguing with the adults, with the step parents. Y'all seen that? See? That respect. So that's why I said when y'all bringing in these step parents, the rules have to be laid down. The respect has to be there. And you got to do a background check. You can't just bring anybody in the house to fill a void because you're not over your past trauma with the biological. I can't wait to see these comments. Oh, y'all about to be mad, especially with that placeholder. Oh, y'all ain't like that one.
Yeah.
But it's true. It's true. Let's take some of these celebrities, okay? Let's look at the celebrities. Now, I'm not going to lie to y'all at first. When I seen Russell and Sierra, I thought Russell was going to be a placeholder. I thought it was going to be something temporary for a year or two that she go about her business. But turns out they are a solid family.
He a good dude.
He is. He's a really and I felt bad for him because men like Russell, especially in the Black community, usually get women once they're already been just mistreated. Just being honest. Yeah. Because you got to think the women in our community don't like women like Russell until they get dogged by everybody. And I felt bad for Russell. I'm like, he's a good person. He's a Christian man. He is a father, stepfather, a leader, a motivator, everything. I would want my daughter to marry a guy like Russell. Yeah. That's the type of man. But in our community, men like him get used because they're good men. And he's not looking to use here. He doesn't come in with bad intention. He has good intentions. And usually relationships, when a woman is broken and been mistreated and she has a good man, she usually tears up the relationship. But their relationship is going good. I hope it stay good. I hope so. But I had to use that as an example. Because it happens every day. I thought he was going to be a placeholder, but he's not. Good job, Russell. And good job, Sierra. I swear the man was going to be a placeholder. I was using that as an example. We've seen situations.
Why don't you use yourself as an example?
Well, I could. To use myself, I've been a placeholder. I've been a stepdad for the last 15 years, you can say. I've been a temporary one, and then I've been a permanent one. It all depends on the situation with the person you're dating and the reason why. But see, you have to figure out why you're there as a step parent. Are you really there to be a family, or are you just there temporarily? Are you a placeholder? I've been a placeholder. Yeah. And when I realized it, like, I'm done with this shit. I'm gone. right?
Right.
Men, a lot of men, we felt, oh, I'm just here
Mhm.
to play the role for a little bit.
Yeah.
That's
You
why I'm
feed
here,
into it
to play
and
that role.
yeah, you think
Okay, and I played my role, and now my black ass is gone.
you're doing the right thing.
Women too, men do it too.
Mhm.
Y'all ain't off the hook. While y'all clapping and laughing and commenting, y'all
Man,
ain't off the hook.
men get in there and play fake stepdaddy and dip
Yep.
back to baby
I
mama
was
when they
about
get
to
a
say
chance.
Go ahead, tell
Yeah.
about it.
They be trying to have their cake and eat it too. It is what it is.
Yep. Lying, talking about, oh, I like the kids, I love kids. Nigga don't even like kids. Nigga don't even take care of their own kids. And that's nothing. How you gonna take care of somebody else's kids? You don't take care of your own shit. That's what I don't understand about these men. Ladies, these men that say they want to be stepdaddy and you can move in with them, talk to their baby mamas first. Talk to their ex-wives, ex-girlfriends. Does he take care of his kids? How often does he come pick up his kids? Does he pick up the phone when I need help? If I say no, I'm not going to have sex with him, does he take care of his kids? That's what you need to know. That's what you need to know. Because a lot of these men will play stepdaddy because they not get what they want. And then when they do get what they want from old girl, then they run back to her. Now they ain't stepdaddy no more.
Mhm.
Or now they back taking kids because they involved with their baby mom. How many times we seen that? But you got to be careful. Like I said, especially with men, and especially women if y'all have daughters. Because y'all get real comfortable sometimes with these new men you're dealing with. Real quick, y'all let them in your house and let them stay with you, and you got a daughter. That's a big red flag. That is a red flag. You got a lot of child molesters out here, a lot of rapists. That is a huge red flag. So that's my take on the whole step parenting thing. Hope I covered enough ground.
Yeah. Just make sure you venting your potential partners that's courting you. Like, don't just let anybody over and have free reign to be around your children and shit if you don't really know who they is.
Exactly. Leave us a comment. This is just gonna be. I know this is only gonna be part one because the comments are gonna go crazy with this step parenting. Follow us on TikTok, Hit Show Podcast, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Hit Show Podcast, and we will see y'all.